Hi guys, welcome back to Tracy's Local Learnings. I am going to be dehydrating ground beef. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll open a jar that I did in 2020. I'll rehydrate some for you and show you how it's done. So I know a lot of people don't have access to pressure canners. They don't have one. They don't want to have one. They don't want the expense of the jars and whatnot. So there's other ways to get especially protein on our shelves for long term with just by dehydrating them. So what I did tonight was I took some hamburger and so first of all, let me look at my notes quick. Okay, so there's two ways of dehydrating ground beef. One way is you put it in the pan and you fry it up, you break up into little pieces, drain off if there's too much excess fluid, and then you put it on your dehydrator and you dehydrate it. The other way of doing it is the way that I'm doing it tonight. The first way is what I'll be showing you rehydrated. So tonight I'm doing it slightly different because I want this to be a base for tacos, for when I want to do fresh tacos, you know, with the hamburger. So with this one, I add a half to 1 cup, depending on where you want it to be, to about a pound of hamburger of breadcrumbs. So a half to 1 cup of breadcrumbs into the hamburger. You mix it really, really, really well. It's kind of a tedious process getting it all nicely mixed through. And then I add my taco seasoning right to this. So I load up on the taco seasoning. Now, if I was doing this, it's really good to have like a couple different options on your pantry shelf of dehydrated ground beef. So one way is taco, one way is loading it up with Italian seasonings and having it for like spaghetti sauces and things like that. And, okay. Sorry about that, man. I'm doing my best here. So tonight I have done the breadcrumbs into this and the taco seasoning, and now all I'm going to do is put it onto my dehydrator racks. So what I want to talk to you guys about is how easy this is and how time saving it is and how it could really be something to fall back on. There's many different ways that you can put it on your dehydrator rack. I have one that's a silicone that I cut the hole out of the middle. I like to use this for doing like bone broth and eggs and things like that. But today I cut out some, sorry about that, parchment paper because I don't want to lose any of the flavor or the fats. So when you add the breadcrumbs in my opinion, what it does is it absorbs the flavor and it absorbs the fat from the bacon. So instead of having a bunch of fat in the bottom of your pan to drain off, nothing's really there because it's been absorbed back into the product. So now when you start to dehydrate this, that fat is going to kind of melt away. So you will get some fat in this, and it's okay. I mean, the key to dehydrating anything, especially with fats in it, is to make sure that it's got no air in it. You need to get all the air out of that product. So you can do things like buy oxygen absorbers and put them into your canning jars if you want to do it that way. Or you can, really easily build a vacuum chamber, which there will be a link in the comment section below to the video on how to make a vacuum chamber, which I'll show you guys in a bit. So, I have to look at my notes again because I don't want to forget anything. Okay, so when I put this on my dehydrator, it's my kitchen, my rules. I dehydrate my ground beef or other things at 120. I don't like it too high. I know a lot of people say, 145 to 160, I've even heard. And if you want to do it that way, that's fine. I prefer to have it dehydrate nice and slowly and make sure it's thoroughly dehydrated right to the center of every piece of ground beef. There's no point in taking a chance. And then if there's any moisture left in it because you did it too fast, well, it's going to spoil all of it. Where if you do it nice and low and you make sure that it's all thoroughly cooked before you start the process and make sure it's thoroughly dry, after you're done the process, there's nothing to worry about. Again, as long as you have it airtight. So here I am. I got this done, and I've got this one done. So it's going to go on the dehydrator for at 120. I'm going to mix or change my racks around probably after, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. It's getting late. So also, this is a great thing because the price of beef is going up and up and up and up. And it's a good time to stock up when you see sales, if you see ground beef, if you see whatever. And it's great to make that room in your freezer for when you do see sales. So now this will last for a good couple of years on the shelf. As I said, I opened this can. I don't know if you guys can see that. It says ground beef August 20. So it's 2020 that I vacuum sealed this ground beef. Now, I found a good use for tin foil, so I cover some of my jars, especially the ones that have meat in them, just to take an extra precaution. And you open this up, and it's deliciously crispy. Hang on, I'll pour some onto a little plate or a bowl. So, it's deliciously crispy. And then to eat it like when it's just like this, it's so good. It really is so tasty. Like ground beef, right? You could add that into anything. Craft dinner, whatever. Anyway, so now, excuse me, after you hydrate it, this is what it looks like. It just looks like hamburger. So all I did with this is I took the dry stuff and I just spritzed it. And I kind of flipped it around in the dish. And I spritzed it and I flipped it around in the dish as I was heating it up. And you guys, it's just like you just cooked it. And this is the stuff without the breadcrumbs in it. This is just the regular hamburger. So I haven't done it with the taco meat this way with the breadcrumbs. So I will probably do a follow-up on this to see how I like it. And like I said, you can do other ones with Italian seasoning or whatever seasoning you need in that hamburger for your recipe, your creation. Now, again, back to the fat going rancid. It won't go rancid as long as there's no air in the container. It's kept in a cool, dark location. There's no reason why this wouldn't last 10 plus years. I mean, it's been 4. I haven't touched it, and it's great. It's like excellent. So now I'm going to show you guys quickly how I reseal my jars with my vacuum chamber. And there is a video, a DIY. Get down. Sorry, I'm a cat. Sorry. There is a DIY video on my YouTube channel regarding the vacuum chamber and how to make it. The stuff that you need. It's pretty simple, really. And now I just take this jar and I'm going to just set this on and put it inside. And then I twist I twist this on as tight as it goes. And this is like a toilet flange or something. Like I said, there's a video on my channel. I'll put a link in the comment section. And then I just take this handy dandy brake bleeder, which is an automotive part. And I'll just start pulling the air out of it until the brake bleeder doesn't suck out any more air. So it's a good idea when you're doing it to stop and make sure it's not losing any air from anywhere, which it's not. It's holding a tight seal. And I use this thing constantly. Like, I never get out my food saver and bother putting it on my counter or plugging it in or anything. I just use my brake bleeder. And that way I can do jars. Like I have the, what do they call them? The food saver attachments. So I can do regular mason jars, the pints and the quarts. But this thing allows me to do reusable jars, right? From jams and pickles and pretty much whatever fits inside of it. So yeah, you know, you can make bigger ones. In the video, I explain why that can be a problem. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much tapped out here at 20 psi, and then I just take this off. There we go. And I don't know if you guys heard it seal, but it's sealed. So now I take that off, and it's always a good idea to test to make sure that it's on there good by doing that. So when I'm storing dry goods, anything you do in a jar is always important to label it and date it so you know what it is, because you know, and other people know what it is. So also when I store my dry goods that have been vacuum sealed, I put the lid on. I don't tighten it down, but I put it on, because if for any reason that seal did get broken, I wouldn't want it just to, well, I mean, it'd be easier to see them if it would just fall over, but it's good to check all your jars every couple of years anyway. So this is my video today on dehydrating hamburger. I also wanted to mention, for anybody who doesn't have a dehydrator, for doing any of these projects, you can use your oven. Excuse me. You can use your oven by putting it on whatever the lowest setting is and leaving it slightly ajar. And if that means like taking a kitchen gadget and just putting it in the door so it doesn't close, it allows the moisture to come out. You can dehydrate any of this stuff right in your oven. Also, if you have a wood stove, you can dehydrate on top of a wood stove, near a wood fireplace, anything like that. So get creative, get your protein on your shelf, and if you guys enjoyed the video, smash the thumbs up button, and have a good day. Bye-bye.